Good morning everybody, and welcome back here to another video blog from Effingham Golf Club on what is a frosty but glorious morning. Supposed to get rain tomorrow, of course. We could do with a drop, tongue in cheek. Following video blog is going to be on Djuke's drainage, who we had in last week and have done a fine job. So this is going to be the process, what went on, how they did it, and there's going to be footage all the way through from start to finish. So hope you enjoy it, and here we go. So this is Djuke's turning up. They've got their vehicles, they come along with their lorry and their vans and their equipment, diggers, tractors, rollers. But before they turned up, we had materials brought onto site. This is 30 tonne of kiln dried sand getting dropped off in the yard, which we had to wrap up in plastic and protect. We've also had gravel delivered, and we've had soil delivered, which tops up the trench and before they turf back on top. So all that was in place before they turned up. They then come out, they mark out where the trenches are going to be. And at that point, turf cutter comes out, the turf lines are cut, the turf put to one side, and then followed up by the digger. Mini digger coming in, carefully cutting the trenches and the sumps, excavating down to the desired depth, so there is a fall into each sump. Some greens had a couple of sumps, some had one. They mark out where your irrigation is, there's ours there, spot on top of the blue line, and it's excavated carefully around. Here the pipe had to go underneath. The trench goes up the hill. This is the soak-away trench up to the main trench, which the rope drainage will be installed into. There's a piece of rope. It's nylon rope with a metal core inside, which keeps the rope open. Very robust bit of equipment, acts like a wick, and the water gets transported through that rope. The sumps are then dug to the desired depth before they start laying out the ropes. The ropes are laid out metre apart and then cut to length of the green. These ropes are then coiled up, ready for installation. It's a very neat job, and they're all marked and they've got their exact positions. The ends of the rope are left into the trench. That's obviously going to be installed into a plastic pipe later on. This is the machine now that's used to install it. There's the blade there that cuts through into the green. There's a cutting blade in front, and that's the chute that pulls through. The rope comes out in front of it, and behind it, through that gap at the back, is where kiln dried sand drops in and fills in the trench. So this is the rope now being installed into the machine. Each rope is done individually in its position. It's pulled through to the bottom. It's then held into the trench at the desired length so it doesn't get pulled back through. The operator will then drop the machine into the trench, and when everybody's happy, the tractor moves forward, vibrating the rope into the bottom of the trench, and then the sand drops out of the hopper behind and fills the trench up. This leaves the rope down at about 300 mil below the surface, and as you can see there, it's moving forward, the rope's getting sucked through, and the hopper is delivering a band of sand on top, filling up the slot it's left. When that's finished, the lads come along and they clear out about the first top inch of that slot and blow it away. It leaves a very neat job. You can see that coming up now with the finished article there. So that bit of sand is blown out, tidied up, and then the trench is put down. These are the tails of the rope hanging out. This is now ready for the plastic pipe to be installed, which it is there, and then the tails of the rope are drilled into the pipe and the sealer, so the water comes through the centre of that rope into that pipe tank to the sumps. Of course, we had a snow day to contend with in the middle of it, and then followed by a wet day, hence why we are doing this job, because of that look there. This is a bit when it's just been installed. Literally, we're starting to see the first trickle. The sumps aren't in place properly yet, but you're starting to see it come through that trench. As the couple of hours later, you could see it was really running. This is what we'd expect to see on a wet day, going into our sumps, out the pipe more than running underneath it. Once all this is installed, it's a case and then starting to reinstate your trenches. Gravel in, of course, over the pipes, and then some soil. There's a pot put at the end so you can rod it out or flush out the main line, stop it from silting up. And then the turf starts to get reinstated. And this is what we saw at the end when they finish. This is the lines through the green. So you can see it's a very neat job. Hardly seen. They just need time for it to settle down. We've got a couple of trenches, of course, where the main line goes in. They take a little bit more work, but they will settle down. So with Djuke's, this is them now leaving, the best bit of it. Very neat installation. Took a week, literally, and that is with a snow day. So well done.